Hi guys, welcome to Techie Ocean. In this tutorial, we will see how to bypass the Angular security. That is, how to bypass the inbuilt data sanitization provided by the Angular. So in the previous tutorial, we have seen the inbuilt data sanitization provided by Angular. So we'll take a small example. So we have a variable untrusted URL of type string, and we are just assigning a JavaScript alert to that variable. So we're just assigning, hi, this is Angular project. And in the HTML, we are simply having an anchor tag, and we are assigning the untrusted URL to the href property of the anchor tag. So we'll just see how the inbuilt data sanitization works. So now if you run this and you try to click on the click to view button, you can see nothing happens. And in the console also you can see that it has blocked this JavaScript by saying sanitizing unsafe URL JavaScript, hi, this is Angular project. So this is the inbuilt data sanitization provided by Angular to avoid cross-site scripting and to avoid the attackers to inject a script in your elements. But there are many cases in which we generally want to call a JavaScript function on the click of the anchor tag. But in that case also, the inbuilt data sanitization will stop you to do so. So how to bypass it? So we'll just take a small example. So now to bypass the inbuilt data sanitization of Angular, the DomSanitization class comes into picture. And in the DomSanitization, there is an inbuilt method named as bypasssecuritytrusturl. So we will use this method to bypass the Angular data sanitization for that particular URL. So in the app.component.ts, we'll quickly import the DomSanitizer and safe URL from Angular platform browser. So I have imported the DomSanitizer and safe URL from the Angular platform browser. So I will just define a variable named as genuine URL of type safe URL, which we have imported here. Now in the constructor of the app.component, we'll quickly inject the DomSanitizer. So we are injecting the DomSanitizer in the constructor of the app.component, and we are going to access it using an object named as sanitizer. So our task is that when we click on the anchor tag, the JavaScript should be executed and it should bypass the Angular security. That is this JavaScript. So in the constructor, I will just assign this dot genuine URL equal to this dot sanitizer dot the inbuilt function bypasssecuritytrusturl. And I will just simply pass this dot untrusted URL which we have previously used here. So you can see in the untrusted URL that JavaScript is there, and in this dot genuine URL we are just assigning this dot sanitizer dot bypasssecuritytrusturl, and we are just passing the untrusted URL here, that is the JavaScript here. So using this DomSanitizer, we are bypassing the Angular security for that particular URL, and we are just assigning that URL to the genuine URL. Now we'll just simply use this genuine URL in the HTML here. So instead of this untrusted URL in the anchor tag, I will just use genuine URL. Here. So let's run this. So when I click on click to view button, you can see that this time the JavaScript alert has been executed. This is because this particular JavaScript was bypassed from the Angular inbuilt data sanitizer using the DomSanitizer inbuilt method of bypassing the URL. So this is the useful way in which when we really want a genuine code to be, or the genuine script to be executed on the click of a button or a anchor tag, then we can use the DomSanitizer to bypass this. So this was an example of a URL. Now let's take an example of an untrusted resource. So I will just quickly import the safe resource URL from Angular platform. So similarly, like the previous examples, we will have an untrusted video URL and a genuine URL. So we have an untrusted video URL and a genuine video URL of type safe resource URL, which we have imported here. So we'll have a video URL. So let's name TechieOcean video URL of type string. So in the constructor, we'll just write this.TechieOcean video URL. So this is the ID of our video in YouTube. Here we'll just write this.untrusted video URL equal to http www.youtube.com embed and the ID of the URL, that is this. So we are just appending the TechieOcean video ID here, and we are assigning that to the untrusted video URL. Now let's go to the HTML untrusted video, and I will just have an iframe whose source will be untrusted video URL here. An iframe and the source will be untrusted video URL, which we have defined here. So let's run this. In the iframe, you can see that the video resource was not loaded. And in the console, you can see there is an error, unsafe value used in resource URL. So the inbuilt data sanitization has stopped you from accessing the untrusted video. So now to bypass the resource, we will use the bypasssecuritytrustResourceurl, the inbuilt method of DomSanitizer. So now let's see how to bypass this video URL. So we'll just write this dot genuine video URL equal to this dot sanitizer, that is our DomSanitizer embedded here, dot, and this time we'll use this property, bypasssecuritytrustResourceurl. And here we'll just simply pass this dot untrusted video URL. This dot sanitizer dot bypasssecuritytrustResourceurl resource URL, and we are just simply passing untrusted video URL. Now in the HTML, we'll have a genuine video URL, and we are going to have one more iframe here whose source will be genuine video URL this time. And we are using the same untrusted video here, that URL, by using the bypasssecuritytrustResourceurl. So let's run this. So the untrusted video URL is not loaded, but the genuine video URL is loaded. This is due to the bypasssecurityResourceurl. And we can also run this here. So now if you see the console, so this error is only due to the previous untrusted resource URL. So I'll just remove that and this error will go. HTML, I will just remove this untrusted video URL here. and I will just save this, and you will see that this time there are no errors and we are loading the video URL using the bypass security. So in this way we can bypass the inbuilt security of Angular using the DomSanitizer. So there are many other methods in DomSanitizer for bypassing the resources. So the DomSanitizer is the most useful class in Angular to bypass the most genuine resources from the inbuilt data sanitization. So that's it guys. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe, like or share.